Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the one for February 2024. It's called the Budding Romance Collection. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I'm using the bonus strand that we got of the 8mm Malaysia Jade blue beads that came in the box. I've got some gold spacer beads from my stash. In here I've got some findings. I've got a lobster clasp, some 4mm jump rings, one 8mm jump ring, two wire guardians, two 2x2 crimp tubes, two of the pieces of chain that came in the box, a piece of paper clip chain that I'm going to use as an extender, and a little leaf charm I'm going to hang off the extender chain. And I'm going to use the two enameled metal branch charms that came in the box for my earrings, and I'm using a couple of these beads too. And I've got a couple of ear wires in there and a couple of pieces of my 22 gauge German style wire in gold. I'm going to be using some Miyuki 11.0 Aqua Ceylon is the color on these seed beads, and some 15.0 Duracoat galvanized gold seed beads. Going to be using my soft flex beading wire in fine. This is 21 strand and it's copper. I don't have any gold, but by the time I get done you won't be able to see the wire anyway. I'm going to be using my 6-pound fire line in smoke. I've got a size 12 beading needle that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, both pairs of my crimping pliers, and both pairs of my cutters. And I'll be using my thread burner to burn my thread down a little bit. And I've got my bead stopper. And I'm probably going to use my scissors a little bit, although I'll probably use my thread burner most of the time because all the scissors I've got are so dull they won't cut butter. I'm going to have to get a new pair of scissors. And I'm going to be using my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. That's plenty, isn't it? So, hold on. Let me get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to get started now. And I'm going to cover some of these beads with seed beads. And I apologize ahead of time if it's hard for y'all to see what I'm doing. I'm afraid it's going to be because these beads are all really tiny. I almost didn't do a video. I almost just made it and then was going to show it in a finished jewelry video. And then I decided I'd give it a shot and see if I could do it where y'all can see what I'm doing. But I don't know. I'm going to zoom in a lot here. First I've got my needle threaded, and each one of these, covering each one of these beads takes about 1.5 feet of thread, something like that. Maybe, I don't think it would take 2 feet, about 1.5 feet would do it, I think. And I've got a stop bead on here, and I'm just leaving enough of a tail to hold on to because I'm going to tie a knot right here, right at the beginning. But first, I've got 8 of my 11.0, blue 11.0 seed beads on here. And I'm going to go back up a couple of the first ones and turn it into a circle. And I've got more than 2 feet of thread on my needle and it's wanting to get tangled. So I've got it in a circle there now. Now I'm going to go all the way around until I get back to my tail thread. Now I'm going to take my stop bead off and I'm going to tie a knot. Of course, you can do this without putting a stop bead on there. I just have not coordinated well enough coordinated to do it without a stop bead. So now I'm going to make sure my knot falls down between my beads. And now I'm going to switch hands and tie another overhand knot. And just make sure it falls down between my beads. Pull it tight because I need this is going to be the base of my little cage that I'm going to make for my beads to go, for my big bead to go in, and I need it to be good and tight. I'm going to sew through a couple of these 11-ohs to get away from my knot. Okay, maybe I'll sew through 3 of them. I don't know. Wherever my thread wants to come out, I guess. I mean, wherever my needle wants to come out. Okay, I got through a couple of them there. And now I'm going to burn this tail off. And normally I would cut it off, and I would cut it almost all the way off and then burn it down. But like I said, my scissors are just, or I don't have a pair of scissors that'll cut anything. So I'm going to burn that off. And now I'm going to burn down the rest of it. Okay, so now I think it might be a good idea to go around these beads again, because I don't want this to fall apart after I get it made. Okay, now I'm coming out of one of my 11-ohs there. I'm going to pick up 9 15-ohs. I'm going to pick up one of my blue 11-ohs and 9 more 15-ohs. I'm going to drop all this down. So I've got 9 15-ohs, 1 11-oh, and 9 15-ohs. I'm coming out the bottom of this blue 11-oh. I'm going to go into the top of it and just circle around it. Make a little loop around that 15-oh. Now I'm going to sew into the next blue bead that's in my base here. And I'm going to keep good tight tension on this. And I'm going to make a loop like this around all 8 of my beads. But for this next one, I'm going to share this side. This is going to be one side of the loop around my second 11-oh down here. So this time I only need to pick up 9 15-ohs. And 1 11-oh. I have 9 of my gold 15-ohs, 1 of my blue 11-ohs. I'll drop them all down here. Now, like I said, I'm going to hold good tight tension on this, and I'm going to go up here to the top of these 9 15-ohs and go down through all of them. And I know it's hard to see, but I have to hold my hand over this to keep it tight. And I'll move it when I get through all these. But I'm going to go through all 9 of these. Don't let your needle sneak out. Make sure you get through all the 15-ohs. And then I'm going to go back into the other side of that 11-oh that I'm coming out of. So I started coming out of the bottom of this blue 11-oh. I'm going in the top of it after I went through all 9 of those 15-ohs. And before I see, it's got loose up here. So before I pull it through, I'm going to tighten. I'm going to pull on my thread here to tighten it. And now I'm going to pull it on through. Now I'm going to sew through my next blue bead in my base down here. I'll pull it tight. I'm going to pick up 9 more 15-ohs. And 1 of my 11-ohs. I'll drop that down. I'm going to hold on to everything here, hold it tight. It helps to go down all these 15-ohs if you hold it tight too. It makes it easier. So I'm going to go down through all these 9 15-ohs. Now I don't think I'm going to be able to angle my needle to get it through that blue 11-oh this time. So I'm just going to go through the 9 15-ohs. I'll pull my needle through, and then I'm going to go on through the other side of that blue 11-oh. I'm going to pull this thread, tighten everything up. I'm going to pull my thread through. Now I'm going to go into my next blue bead down here at my base. Now I'm going to pick up 9 more 15-ohs. One 11-oh. I'm going to tighten everything up here. I'm going to go down all these 15-ohs, and if you can't get through them all at once, that's fine. You can do it just like I'm doing with the bottom 11-oh. You can just go through some of them and pull your needle through and go through a few more, just whatever you need to do. And now I'm gonna see if I can angle and get through that one this time. I think I might be able to. There we go. So I'm through all the 9 15-ohs and through the other side of that 11-oh that I started in. I'll pull my thread here to keep everything tight, and I'm going to pull my thread through. Now I'm going to go into the next blue bead down here on in my base. Pick up 9 more 15-ohs. One 11-oh. I'm going to hold it tight. I'm going to go up here and go down all 9 of these 15-ohs. I can't get through that 11-oh this time, so I'm just going to go through the 9 15-ohs. I'm going to pull my needle through, and then I'm going to go on into the other side of this 11-oh that I started in. I'm going to tug on this to tighten everything up, pull my thread through. Now I'm going to do this 2 more times because I'm going to end up with 8 blue beads at the top, just like I've got 8 blue blue beads at the bottom. I've got 5 now. I'm going to do 2 more, and that'll be 7. And then when I come back, I'll do the last one, which is going to connect my little cage together. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got 7 of my. I've done enough loops here that I've got 7 blue beads at the top, and this is going to be my last loop. So I'm going to go through this. I'm coming out here where I put on my last 9 15-0s and my 11-0 there. I'm going to go into my next base bead, which is my last one. Now this is where I'm going to bring my little cage together. So I don't need any more 15-0s. I'm going to use these 15-0s and these 15-0s as the side for this last bead. So I'm going to go up these. This is the first strip of 9 15-0s that I put on at the very beginning. I'm just going to go up the 15-0s, pull my thread through. I'm going to pick up my last blue 11-0, and now I'm going to, no, I said that was my first strip of 15-0s. That was my last strip of 15-0s I put on. This is my first strip of 15-0s I put on. I'm going to go over here to it and go down all 9 of these. And I might not be able to get through all of them at once, and I don't think I am, so I'm going to try to hold it tight there and get through. I still like 1 down there. So I'm going to go pull my needle through and go on through that last one. I'm going to go back into the bead I started in down here, my base bead, the blue one. Pull my thread through here. Now, I think I've lost my blue bead that I was putting on at the top there. No, there it is. Okay. Okay, so before I pull this all the way through and tighten it, I'm going to put my bead in here. And this is the hardest part of this whole thing, holding this bead in here while I'm pulling this together. I'm going to make sure my thread is over top of this bead that I put in here. I find it easier to do this if I kind of turn it upside down and hold the bead in with my thumb. And then I'm going to pull my thread through and trap that bead in there like that. Now I'm going to go up these 9 15-0s here where my thread's coming out. Can't get through all 9 of them. I'm just going to have to go through 8 of them and go through that last one. By itself. Now I'm going to sew all these 8 beads at the top, all the 8 blue beads at the top together. And I'm going to go through these quite a few times to get them good and tight and cinched together. So there's 2. 4. 6. 8. I'm going to pull that tight. I'll go around them again. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think I'll go around them one more time. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I'm going to make some half-inch knots here. I'm going to go under this thread bridge right here. I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to go through my loop, pull my thread down slowly so it lands in between the beads. Sew through another couple beads, go under this thread bridge, make a loop, go through the loop, pull my thread down slowly, go through a couple more beads, under this thread bridge, make a loop, go through the loop, pull my thread down slowly. Now just because I can see that hole there while I'm at it, I'm going to take an eye pin. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to take an eye pin and stick that through there, because I'm going to string these on my bead stringing wire, and I like to go ahead and just stick something in there just as a placeholder, so when I get ready to string, I don't have to worry about finding all the holes in all these beads. But I mean, it's easy to move around in there. If that hole hadn't been right there, you can just go up here wherever it is and find it and move it down here to the either end where you need it to be. And now I'm just going to cut off my thread. See if I can get these scissors to cut. I'll just make sure I cut it all the way down. I think I did, yeah. So that's what I've got, my little covered bead there. Now I'm going to make 13 of these because I want 11 for my necklace and 2 for my earrings. So, oh no, I didn't cut that thread all the way down. I see it there. I need to burn it down. I thought I left a little of it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make 13 of these. I want 11 for my necklace and 2 for my earrings. So when I get all that done, I'll be back. And I'll go ahead and string it so that y'all don't have to wait while I do that. And when I come back, I'll show you what I've got and we'll crimp it. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got all 13 of my beads covered now, and I've got 11 in my necklace here. And I'm going to crimp it. I've got spacer beads between all the beads. And I've got 3 not covered beads, 1 covered bead, 1 not covered bead, 1 covered bead, 1 not covered bead, 1 covered bead, 1 not covered bead, 5 covered beads. And then I have the same on this side that I do on this side. So now I'm going to just crimp it. And zoom in a little bit more again. I'm going to take my crimp tube and put it on here. My wire guardian. Go down the other channel of my wire guardian. I need to give myself a little more room over here. Go down the other channel of my wire guardian. Back through my crimp tube. I hold my wires apart so that they're not crossing in there. I'll pull my wire down. I'm going to take my pliers and tuck in my little wire guardian. I'm going to try to hold my wires apart. I'm going to take these crimping pliers and I'm going to that part that has the tooth. I'll lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. And that puts each wire in its own little channel there. Now I'm going to go into this part at the top here. It has 3 half circles on each side. I'm going to go in the one in the middle because that's the one for the 2x2 crimp tubes. I'm going to lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to go to this side and push everything down. Put my other crimp tube on, my other wire guardian. Go down the other channel of my wire guardian. Back through my crimp tube. I tuck in my little wire guardian. Now I'm going to hold on to my wire guardian, pull my wire through, and I go through a bead on, if I can, I go through a bead on this side because it gets my hands out of the way when I'm trying to crimp, and it centers my wire guardian over the last bead there. I'm going to go through that bead. Now I'm going to make sure my wires are not crossed. Hold on my wire guardian and pull my wire through. Now I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece, but I don't want it to be too tight. So I usually leave it coiled up like this, and that keeps it from being too tight. Now I'm going to try to hold on to everything, and it's kind of hard on this side. Now I'm going to go in the part with the tooth again. Lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. Now I'm going to turn it and go in the center part of those half circles there, the middle one. Lay my crimp in there. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. And now I'm just going to put my findings on. So I've got, let's see how long this came out to be. It's about 10.5 inches. I know y'all can't see that because I'm doing zoomed in too much. You still can't see it, but it comes to 10.5 inches with my wire guardian and everything on there. And I've got a couple of pieces of chain here that are about, I think they're 4 inches each. Yeah, they're maybe not hardly 4 inches each. Let me see here. Yeah, about 3 1/4 inches each. And I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring and open my jump ring, thread on my chain, and thread on this side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back really well. Do the same thing on this side. Put my chain on. The other side of my necklace. Okay, now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring and my lobster clasp. I got an awful big lobster clasp there, didn't I? Should have got a smaller one. Thread on my chain, my lobster clasp. Now on this side I'm going to put an 8mm jump ring, but I'm pretty sure my 8mm jump ring won't go through this chain because it's an 18 gauge and it's really thick. So first I'm going to put on a 4mm jump ring onto my chain here, and then I'm going to put my 8mm jump ring on there. And now I'm going to open my 8mm jump ring. And thread on my extender chain. Make sure that big old jump ring will go through that extender chain. I don't know why I got such a big, lobster clasp. Yeah, it'll go through there. Okay. Now I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. In case y'all wonder why I'm switching pliers, I find it easier to handle these 4mm jump rings with my smaller pliers and the heavier jump rings with my heavier pliers. I'm going to put that on the end of my extender chain and thread on my little leaf. And close it back. So there's my necklace. I didn't hardly catch my jump ring there, did I? There we go. There's my necklace all done. And now I'm going to make a little pair of earrings. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I've got one of my covered beads here and one of my little charms that I'm going to use, and my ear wire and a jump ring. And I've got my piece of 22 gauge wire here, and it's about 3 inches, I think. I'm going to go down probably not hardly 1.5 inches. Bend my wire over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the pliers. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this short part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the pliers. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. like that. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down a little bit. Now I'm going to wrap the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire, and I use a different pair of cutters for my craft wire and head pins and eye pins than I do for my bead stringing wire. Now I'm going to take my covered bead and put it on here. I'm going to take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, bend the wire back till it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under until it hits the bottom of the pliers, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop, bring this wire down a little bit, I'll take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. I'm going to just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Be careful not cutting in my thread. I'm going to take these crimping pliers, and I use those little half circles on each end there to tuck in the burrs where I cut off the wire. Now I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring, and a piece of wire stuck to my finger there. Open it up, thread on my charm, and thread it onto my dangle I've made here. Close my jump ring back. And now I'm going to open my ear wire. Thread on my earring. Make sure to thread it on the right way because these charms are not double-sided. And close my ear wire back. So now I've got a little earring. So hold on, I'll see if I can get everything laid out here and I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace and earrings made with some of the beads and findings from the most recent Bargain Bead box, the February 2024 box. It's called the Budding Romance Collection. There's some beautiful beads in this box. Of course, they always are. I really do believe this to be a really good value box. I'm always able to get many, many pieces of jewelry out of one box. And I hope you all were able to see what I was doing when I was covering those beads. It's not really hard to do. It's just the beads are small, and I was afraid you all would have a hard time seeing what I was doing. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to the box and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.